Can I tell you a secret? If you want a bullet journal and I ask you why, and you say, because I want to organize my life, obviously you're not wrong, but this type of answer is the exact reason why most people can't journal consistently or really do anything consistently. And as someone who has paid for literal tests that have told me that I'm the queen of inconsistency, I've still managed to keep a bullet journal for several years. It's helped me get my doctorate, survive adulthood, start a business, and more importantly, it's helped me deal with stress, fear, anxiety, ADHD, and to an extent, it's also helped me find my life purpose after Saturn has sufficiently beat my ass with plenty of hard lessons by the age of 33.
Ow. Ow.
But that's for another video. I have a major gripe, kind of. Actually, no, I think I have a major gripe with the journaling space on YouTube in general and how it's been sucked into the productivity world as one of those things that you just gotta do if you want to live a happy and healthy life. Bullet journaling and stuff like ice baths can do wonders for your brain. There's research on it and all that fancy jazz, but honestly, starting anything like this and not sticking to it just makes you feel worse on the inside every single time you quit. So when it comes to doing these kind of things, I want you to understand that vague inputs are gonna get you vague outputs. And we as human beings, we hate vague, mediocre, lame outputs, even if we only put in like the minimum amount of effort. So then we just like stop forever when we miss a few days or even a few weeks of journaling and we haven't seen results.
Why is my life not more organized yet?
But imagine if it were like putting on glasses. It takes such little effort to put this shit on my face, but the result of using them is what allows me to tell the difference between like a stop sign and a yield sign while I'm driving. We want minimum effort with maximum gains. And I'll tell you now, everything in my bullet journal has a specific purpose with a reason why I'm doing it. This is the minimum effort part. So like how I use my habit tracker helps me understand why some days I have the creativity of a potato and the willpower of a millennial on a Friday at 3 p.m. And other days I feel like I've just chugged from the fountain of motivation. If you want to improve your life using journaling, you seriously have to get specific on what it is you want to improve. But there's a catch to that, and I'm going to explain that in a second. As an example, I went from telling myself I want to work out, and I use my journal to help me do that, to I want to be able to do a handstand by October so that I can do absurdly stupid stuff in my Spider-Man costume. But maybe for you, it could be something like, I just want to get my life together. Okay, very vague. But maybe that could be something like, be able to cook 3 easy meals without setting off the fire alarm.
That was delicious.
I know some of you are probably thinking, okay, so make your goals specific. What's new? Like, how is this even useful? Again, this goes back to my gripe about bullet journaling getting fried and reused with productivity grease that tells us that everything we have to do leads to some sort of optimal outcome. That is where we lose specificity when we're more focused on the outcome outside of us. Because honestly, what good is it if you're not learning about who you are and what you actually want in the process? When I started working out, I didn't know that I wanted to do a handstand in a Spider-Man suit. I just wanted to get healthy. So, with that being said, specificity matters, but let that shit evolve. This is just what's going to allow you to start, reflect on your progress, and then use that information to move towards a container that you actually want to be in, rather than shoving yourself into a container that society deems acceptable or correct. This also means that you don't have to flush flexibility down the toilet when it comes to using your journal or being consistent at anything for that matter. And this is when we get into the real reason why you actually want a bullet journal and why you even clicked on this video in the first place. I don't think there's anything I have ever done more consistently than journal, and I believe that's because I enjoy trying to understand myself on a deeper level, and I've made it very easy, like putting glasses on my face. I've realized that the more that I know myself, the more that we can understand how we fit into this world when we have things like ADHD, social anxiety, imposter syndrome, and weird ass hobbies that you don't want to explain to your distant family at holiday gatherings. But what I've actually noticed is when I've been the least consistent with journaling is the times where I ghosted my journal because I didn't want to face the fugly, honest truth about my own mess, like what was going on inside of me. I may not have noticed what I was doing like in the moment, but guess how I figured it out later? Yes, journaling. So once I started confronting my fears by using my journal to record insights that came from getting curious about myself, I realized that in order to actually experience the benefits from self-improvement, like the results we actually want from journaling, you're only going to get those results if you're willing to add in self-discovery. The whole point of keeping a freaking record of your thoughts, behaviors, emotions, and random notes about astrology is so you can reflect on them and then be like, okay, what makes me think like that? Why did I do that? Why didn't I do that? And why did I throw myself a pity party for 48 hours and then snap at the first person that talked to me before I had my caffeine? Yeah, caffeine in my system. I don't even drink coffee. Anyways, if we don't ask ourselves like these kinds of questions to try to understand ourselves, we're never going to discover the solutions that are specific to us, and we'll forever be chasing the next bullet journal spread, the next Notion template, or AI scheduler mabobber that helps plan your life in hopes that it's going to make your life easier.
Like, comment, and subscribe, bitch.
I'm going to also say it. Setting up all this shit for the first time feels really good because it makes us like temporarily feel organized and like we got our shit together, which is really what we want on the inside. If we think of bullet journaling or any journaling tool as a literal mirror, it's just literally going to reflect what's already inside of us. So if you are willing to learn about what it is you really want to be doing with your life, the more likely you'll become someone who journals rather than who wants to journal. It does not take a lot of effort for me to journal because the results that I get from it are huge because I've made it really easy by understanding that I'm doing this to learn about myself. There's so many other ways that you can make your life easier, be more organized, and figure out what the hell you want to be doing with your life or whatever that actually don't even involve the traditional method of journaling with pen and paper, like signing up for my free newsletter. So, if you enjoyed this video and you want more stuff like this that'll help you be more consistent with figuring out your life with or without a journal, subscribe to my newsletter and subscribe to this channel. All right, that's all I got. TTYL.